4:30 in the capital city. Stay tuned for our visit with Clara, featuring Miss Clara Luper, a very informative program.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clara Luper, and this is the holiday season. I would like to extend to each one of you, wherever you are, holiday greetings, and I hope that the holiday season 1977 will be one that you will always remember with pride and joy. Today's program is being brought to you by Wonder Bread, and as you begin to do your weekend shopping, remember that Wonder Bread is your favorite bread. The Oklahoma City Alumni Chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated announces its third annual New Year's Eve Scholarship Ball. It's on Saturday, December the 31st, 1977, from 10 to 2 a.m. at the Hilton Inn West, I-40 and Meridian South Ballroom. The theme this year is Delta's Africana, Disco 78. Live music by the UFOs. There will be door prizes, hats, balloons, horns, noisemakers. Also, a lively intermission show. Delta's resident artist, Mary Ann Moore, has been commissioned to paint African prints to be presented as tokens to all who support the scholarship effort by attending. These African prints are priceless. The donations are $10 per person, and good news, they are tax deductible. Ladies may wear African dresses, men may wear suits and ties. Tickets may be purchased from McKinney's Pharmacy, 2701 Northeastern. The telephone number is 427-3092. Now, group parties are welcome. If you do not want to go to McKinney's at 2701 Northeastern, you may go to any Delta in Oklahoma City. And remember, no tickets will be sold after 5 o'clock p.m. on December the 31st, 1977. Come one, come all, and help the Deltas to ring in 1978. Maybe you need some additional information. Call 424-3644 or 424-3247. Little Joe Blue will be at the Exposition Auditorium tonight, December the 10th. He will be here with his new records, and today I want you to hear these records because they are by Little Joe Blue, and you are to be at the Exposition Center, formerly Bryant Center, tonight to hear Little Joe Blue. Little Joe Blue, and I would like to dedicate Shaking Hands with the Judge to a friend of mine that just got a divorce down in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Here it is, Shaking Hands with the Judge by Little Joe Blue. And the first one calls me and tells me where Little Joe Blue will be playing of Oklahoma City. All right, Janice. This is a Clara Luper show, and this is a visit with Clara Luper. I'm going to dedicate the next record to a lady who will be 100 years old on December the 23rd. In fact, she was born December 23rd, 1877 in South Carolina. Here in Oklahoma City, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Her name is Alice Potts Ross. And I say she was born in South Carolina. She was not born in South Carolina. She was born in Alabama on December the 23rd, 1977. Her parents were William and Mary Potts, and she's a third oldest child of 9 children. She married Mr. Robert Ross of South Carolina. Now I have it. Mrs. Alice Ross of Alabama married Mr. Ross of South Carolina in 1893 at the age of 16. Now here's a great one. They lived happy. Now I want to emphasize that. They lived happy for 54 years. Now that's Alice and her husband, Robert, lived happy for 54 years. Then they moved to Oklahoma City in 1919, and she's the mother of 14 children, 7 boys and 7 girls. And even at the age of 99, her hobbies are sewing, gardening, reading, cooking, and writing poetry. Now, there will be a big dinner, and it is going to be a dinner out of sight because the children of Alice Ross, and I'm going to name these children because it's not every day that you have children who has a mother that will be 100 years old on December the 23rd. Minnie Cosby, Irma L. Cox, Letty Fuller, J.S. Ross, Willie Ross, Merle Ross, John Ross. John Ross will be here from Stockton, California. Estella King from Chickasha, Oklahoma. Ollie M. Robb from Wichita, Kansas. Now, let me tell you about this dinner. There will be 37 grandchildren present, 68 great-grandchildren, 26 great-great-great-grandchildren, 5 great-great-great-great-grandchildren. That would be a total of 136 grandchildren and children. The youngest child is Reverend J.S. Ross of the Salam Missionary Baptist Church here in Oklahoma City, and Reverend Ross will be there all smiling. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Alice Ross, on December the 23rd, and I know Mrs. Andrea Fuller and the fine people at 810 Northeast 18th Street can hardly wait for it. And most of all, thank you. My entire family will be there to help you celebrate your 100th birthday. I will be there, Mrs. Ross, I will be there. And you're 100 years old, and you're just old enough to get married again. Even though you lived with Mr. Ross for 54 years, you've got to remember that Clara Luper is your marriage consultant, and I'll marry you off in a minute, even though you're 100 years old. If you don't believe I'll marry you off, you just give me a chance. So, Ms. Ross, you're not going to get by. I'll see you on December the 23rd, 1977, and I say to you, happy birthday wherever you are. Holiday greetings from Reverend Nathaniel C. Irvin, the pastor of the Avery Chapel AME Church, located at 1425 North Kellum, here in Oklahoma City. Reverend Irvin would like to pause now and say to each one of his members, his friends, and the many people that have visited Avery Chapel, I want to say to each one of you individually, happy holiday season. As we think of the holiday season, I have two good friends that are in the hospital. So many of you have asked me, who is that lovely lady that always sells tickets for the Soul Bazar? You can always see her at the Soul Bazar. They're greeting everybody, smiling. Well, that's my friend Irene Drake, and Irene is now in the Presbyterian Hospital here in Oklahoma City. And Irene, hurry up and get well. My other friend, you've heard her many times on the Clara Luper show, or on a visit with Clara Luper, Joanne Chapman, who is now in St. Anthony's Hospital here in Oklahoma City. And we say to you, Joanne, we miss you, and hurry and get well. Holiday greetings from George Mizchozkie, who is a candidate for the United States Senate. George Mizchozkie says to each one of his friends, happy holiday season. It is the day that you are to bring all of your papers, your telephone books, and your paperboard boxes to Freedom Center. I would like to thank those of you that have blazed the coal to get out and bring your papers to Freedom Center. You will have to 6 o'clock to get those papers, and I would like to ask Mrs. Esther Watson to call my home at once. Someone is waiting there with a pickup to pick up Mrs. Allen's papers. Now, let's see what you are to do. If you really want to see your NAACP Youth Council lead the nation in youth memberships, lead the nation because it will be the only youth council in the United States that owns its own headquarters, why don't you take your papers to Freedom Center, 2609 Northeastern, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It is time now. It is time now for me to tell you something very, very special. And I can always tell you something special because you know that if you listen to the Clara Luper show, you're going to be informed about what's happening in your city. There are so many people that didn't know that the children of Mrs. Alice Ross was going to give her this big party that I've just told you about. Well, if you really want to know what's happening, now you know about the Deltas because you heard it on the Clara Luper show. And be sure and tell everybody that you listen to the Clara Luper show. So many of you have asked me, young ladies, why I think you should be in a beauty contest. Now, I think you should be in one because it will enrich and encourage you in the areas of public relations, personality development, charm, poise, self-image, and communication. You need to be involved in young people's activities in community and in the business interests. You need to be in an arena where you can compete and become aware of your own potential business development. And that's why I would like to thank all of you that have signed up for the Miss Soul Bazar contest of 1977, and we will be getting with you next week. Oh, it's going to be something that's out of sight. And speaking of something that's out of sight, we are happy today that we are able to tell you what's happening in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is Clara Luper, and I'm speaking now to the manager of the MixBag. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you, Mrs. Luper?
Oh, I am really fine. I'm really fine, Mr. Stanfield. I understand there's something very special going on out to the MixBag.
Yes, we do have something very special tonight. And tomorrow we feature the sounds of the Uptown Syndicate, one of Oklahoma City's most progressive groups here at the MixBag.
The Uptown Syndicates? Mm-hmm. That was a group that started out at Soul Bazar some years ago, probably about 7 years ago. That group was out of sight then. They must be very fantastic.
Yes, they are.
And they will be playing where tonight?
They'll be playing here at the Giants Full Club MixBag. We're at 8911 Northwestern Avenue here in Oklahoma City.
I want to ask you a question. How is it that you all have been able to get so many different racial groups out to the MixBag? Is that why it's a MixBag?
That's the basis of it, the mixed bag. We tend to cater to people from all walks of life, any walk of life.
Well, I think that's fantastic because the future of black businesses depend upon the total community and not just a small segment of the community.
Right.
Now, the Uptown Syndicates will be there tonight. What time will they start playing?
The Uptown Syndicate will start playing at 9:30 tonight. That's 9:30 until 2 o'clock on a Saturday night. And Sunday, we'll also feature the group, and they'll start at around 6 o'clock. Start at 6 o'clock, and they'll finish up around 10. We'll hopefully that we'll keep them going for a little bit longer. They're such a fantastic organization.
And they're for young musicians, too, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Oh, who's the soloist?
The soloist is, we have Miss Brenda Connerly, and also a very outstanding vocalist, Miss Vicky Carter, along with the fantastic sounds of Temple McKinney. Temple McKinney is a young man who is so up to date on what is currently going on as far as the music world is concerned.
Oh, that's just fantastic. And Mr. Stanfield, it's so good to talk to you, but I know that you have had some experience in radio. Tell me about it.
Well, my experience in radio goes back to Armed Forces Radio Network in Berlin, Germany, where I was station manager for 2 years. And locally, nothing. I was born here.
Okay, you were a station manager in Germany.
You're right, Armed Forces Radio Network.
Oh, that's fantastic, and I know my radio audience is very proud of you because this is the first time that we've had such a distinguished person in communication.
Thank you.
Now, let's get back to tonight. The Uptown Syndicates will be at the MixBag, and that address is?
It's 8911 Northwestern Avenue.
And that will start at 9:30.
9:30 this evening.
Okay, now, one question.
Yes.
I understand that the MixBag is a membership club.
Yes, we are a private club, and we do encourage memberships here within the organization for 2 reasons. We have, in the future, some very, very outstanding artists coming into the club, and we would like to see everybody receive the benefits of what we're trying to do here within the room.
Well, I think that's just fantastic, and on behalf of all of us here at KFJL, could we say happy holiday season, and a special hello to the Uptown Syndicates that will be there tonight at the MixBag at exactly 9:30.
Right on.
Okay, bye-bye, and thank you so much.
That was Mr. Stanfield out to the MixBag, and your bag will be mixed tonight when you get out there, and you will have a ball. Why don't you go out in a new Cadillac? Rudy Dawes says he will put you in a Cadillac in a minute. He's at 400 North Walker at the Bob Moore's Cadillac Company. All you would have to do is to go on down to Bob Moore's and see Rudy Dawes. And congratulations to Rudy Dawes for being one of the top Cadillac salesmen in the United States of America.
Happy holiday seasons to you from the Two Sisters Nursing Home, 406 Northeast 14th Street here in Oklahoma City. And speaking of the Two Sisters, Mrs. Butler says a special holiday greetings to you wherever you are today. And speaking of wherever you are today, you are on top because you are visiting with Clara Luper. And all of you fine people out in Yukon, Oklahoma, some of my best friends are descendants from Czechoslovakia. And to you out in Yukon, I would like to say thanks for visiting with Clara Luper. And you are certainly in tune with what's happening here in your own city. One of the hottest school board races in the history of this city is about to unfold. It is true that Cecil L. Williams, the black businessman, and Jesse Caldwell, who is well known in the field of labor, have filed along with Freddie Williams. Now, the big question will be, who will the people vote for in Oklahoma City in that big school board race? And we will be talking more about that race, and I do hope that we can get all of the candidates here in order that you can hear and you can make a decision. Well, that one is too hot for me to handle, but I can tell you one thing, that when the time comes to vote, you can't vote unless you are a registered voter. But what you can do, you can enjoy the best in services at the Ruby and Jim's Morning Star Daycare Center, 908 Northeast 30th Street, here in Oklahoma City. If your child is ill or if your child has asthma, other elements, and you really want to see to it that your child is taken care of, why don't you go to 908 Northeast 30th Street or call 424-4445 and ask for either Ruby or Jim. Don't forget to take your papers on up to Freedom Center. How much do you love the children? Do you love them enough to get out in the cold wind and take them some papers? I know you do, and I know when we go off the air, that blue bin will be filled with papers because you want to help. And speaking of wanting to do something, don't forget, the baby blue. Yes, he will be at Bryant Center tonight, 2701 Northeast 21st Street. It's known now as the Exposition Recreation Center. And I have another record that I want to give away. One thing I've noticed about this town, and I hate to say this, but I might as well say it. The women are just a little smarter than the men in this town. Now, I can ask a question out there in radio land, and while the men are thinking about it, the women would have called and answered the question. Well, I'm telling you, I would like to salute the women, and I'm sure that every minister in Oklahoma City would agree with me. Because if the women would go on a strike in the churches, what would happen to the choirs? What would happen to the church? If the women would go on strike, I'm telling you, the churches would have to lock their doors because it's something about the men. Now, if you disagree with me, why don't you call me here at 478-2100 and tell me all about it. But let me tell you something. As you prepare for the holiday season, you just want that holiday taste. Why don't you go by Stale's Restaurant, 1100 Northeast 23rd Street, here in Oklahoma City. Stale would like to say thank you for your business during the past year and would like to wish each one of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. Yes, this is a holiday season, and during the holiday season, businesses pause and say Happy Holiday to you on the Clara Luper Show because they want to make sure that they would say Happy Holiday on the show that you listen to. Reverend E.R. Neal is a proud minister of the Mount Olive Baptist Church here in Oklahoma City, located at 2717 North Kelly. And I'm sure Reverend E.R. Neal would agree with me when I say that the women are the leaders in the churches. The women pay more money in the churches than all of the men together. If you don't believe it, try a Women's Day and compare it with a Men's Day. If any of you have any different information, call me here and I will certainly correct it. I've never heard of Men's Day program out during a Women's Day program. In fact, some churches have put the men and women together. And speaking of being together, I would like to say a special happy birthday today to Craig Oliver, who has been celebrating his birthday ever since 1 o'clock. I think the guests started arriving for a midday luncheon. Afterwards, they went to the circus, and they will soon be back in the beautiful home of Mrs. Lillian Oliver, where Craig will continue to celebrate. I was talking to Shelley Marie Luper because I had asked Shelley to be sure and come out and sing happy birthday to Patricia Obey. And Shelley told me to tell Patricia happy birthday, but she couldn't do it because she had to go to the circus. Since she couldn't do it, I might ask Jennifer Allen to do it. And if Jennifer can't do it, I will have to ask Joe to do it. And if Joe can't do it, I'll have to ask Onita Brown to do it. But you've got to remember, Onita Brown is my sister. And one time, Onita, my sister, and Hazel, my sister, and I started singing in church down in Hoffman, Oklahoma. And the people were very rude. They got up. We were singing Take a Stand. And they got up and took a stand and walked out. And that's embarrassing. But it's not embarrassing when you think about what's going on at the Henderson grocery store, 2700 North Kelly Avenue here in Oklahoma City. You can stop by Henderson anytime and buy anything that you want to make your holiday season a better season. Mrs. Ellen Spivey, the president of the Greyhouse Club, has announced that the Greyhouse Club's Christmas party will be held tonight at 1111 Northeast 43rd Street here in Oklahoma City. The party will start at 8 o'clock p.m. sharp. All members from Grayson and Hoffman are asked to be there. In fact, they are required by Mrs. Ellen Spivey, the president. And when Mrs. Ellen Spivey says that she's going to have a party, believe me, she is going to have a party. So many of you have asked, what is it like to have a party for Christmas? Well, you haven't had anything yet unless you have had the experience of attending a Hoffman and Grayson, Oklahoma party. Boy, we can party. That Hoffman and Grayson, I need not tell you. Mr. Chris can tell it far better than I. If you don't believe the Hoffman and Grayson people can put it together, ask Mr. Caddy. Well, happy holiday season to you wherever you are. From Marilyn Hildred from the Allstate Insurance Company here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Marilyn would like to thank you for your business because you are making her the top Allstate agent in the state of Oklahoma. And I know when you get ready to take out your insurance on your homes, your new cars, I know you will remember Marilyn, and also life insurance. And Marilyn will become the top insurance agent in the United States of America. And here's Joe with the sports.
Good afternoon. It is now official that the Oklahoma City 89ers will be playing baseball in Oklahoma City in 1978. A local group of investors headed by Patty Cox purchased the team from owner Harry S. Valentine. While under Valentine's supervision for 2 years, the 89ers lost money by way of poor attendance. The new owners say they plan to break even next year by shooting for 2,500 fans per game. Well, good luck. They call him the Tyler Rose because his mother raises flowers in East Texas. I'm talking about Earl Campbell, a 220-pound fullback whose powerful record-breaking running led Texas to a perfect regular season record and a possible national championship. He won the Heisman Trophy Thursday night as the outstanding college football player in the country for 1977. Oklahoma State's Terry Miller was runner-up behind him, and behind Terry Miller was Ken McAfee of Notre Dame. Other awards given out by the Downtown Athletic Club on the national televised program Thursday was the top defensive back award in the country. That went to Oklahoma's All-American Zach Henderson. One of the key Class 4A matchups will put Mizchozkie against Northwest tonight in the Sunburst Tournament at Northwest Classen. In the Sunburst Tournament last night, the Knights defeated Douglas 90-76, and Mizchozkie defeated Star Sprinter last night 77-73. They handed Star his second loss in the young season. In other scores last night at the Southeast Tournament, Grant defeated top-rate John Marshall 73-69. It was Southeast over Capitol Hill 65-48. Millwood defeated Guyman 89-57. Other scores around the city area, Northeast defeated Duncan 77-53. Classen trounced over Cleveland 77-64, and Edmond defeated Putnam West's B team 75-73. In college basketball last night, Bethany Nazarene defeated Lubbock 79-70. Emmanuel skipped by El Reno 67-66, and OCC won its 10th in a row by defeating Wayland Baptist 98-67. Nebraska defeated Creighton 65-58, and Northwestern downed Langston 71-62. Well, prep football finally came to an end last night as Fairfax defeated O'King 13-7 to take the Class B title. In Class A, well, Watongo cannot be stopped. They defeated Beggs 20-0. And finally, my thoughts on the Heisman Awards. I felt this year, just like I felt in 75, that the best college football player was not represented at the Heisman Awards. Not taking anything away from Earl Campbell, I think he's a fine, outstanding football player. And if he had not been for the Texas Longhorns' #1 ranking, he probably would have not won it. On the other hand, there was Terry Miller, a man who did not play for an undefeated team, who did not have all the exposure Campbell did, but had a remarkable season with a bad team. Not like Campbell, Miller had 3 good years, and the statistics to back him up. But the sports writers didn't agree. Their idea was, if we don't see you, we don't vote for you. But in my book, Terry Miller would probably become one of the best professional football players to come out of college football. And there was Doug Williams, who probably had the best season out of any collegiate player this year. Williams, in my opinion, should have had at least the top vote for the trophy. But again, he was from a small black school. The school sports writers tend to overlook this time of year. Grambling has put more top stars in NFL than any other college football team. Doug Williams would certainly be added to that list of top stars. But I have one word for the sports writers. Payback is a dog. Ask Greg Pruitt, who didn't win it in 1972. Ask Walter Payton, Sammy White, and countless other great collegiate players who sports writers overlooked when the time came to vote for the best. Just look at what they're doing now. That's sports. I'm Joe Relaford reporting.
Thank you, Joe. And today's program is being brought to you by Wonder Bread. And as the holiday season approaches, remember Wonder Bread. Now, so many of you have asked me, what are you going to do for that special person in your life? Now, a lot of you young ladies have been dating all of this year, and now it's time to show that special guy how much you appreciate him. And speaking of that, I would like for you to go with me now to the Soul Boutique. And Miss Lewis?
Yes, Miss Luper.
How are you today?
Just fine.
Well, tell me what's going on at the Soul Boutique, and what kind of gifts would you represent? You're quite an expert.
Well, right now we have on sale leather coats, long and short, 2-piece suits, 3-piece suits, sweaters, turtlenecks, and all sorts of other items.
What are your hours there?
Weekdays, 11 to 7, Fridays, 11 to 8, and through the holidays, 10 to 9 on Saturdays.
Oh, that's wonderful. So someone can just stop in and pick up a present for that favorite guy.
Right.
How about so many people want to buy things for their parents? How about that? Especially their fathers.
Yeah, we have beautiful jewelry for men and underwear, all types of things for the older guys.
There at the Soul Boutique.
Right.
Okay, let's formally introduce you to our radio audience. Would you tell me your name, please?
I'm Tammy Lewis, and right now we have 3 employees working, Ollie, Eddie, and Lenore.
Oh, 3 employees. Now, what's your position there at the Soul Boutique?
Manager.
You are the manager. And who are your parents?
Mr. and Mrs. Richard E. Lewis.
And you are the manager of the Soul Boutique.
Right.
How did you get enough experience to be the manager?
Well, before I worked for my father, I worked for other stores and department stores, boutiques, and that sort of thing. And right now I'm majoring in marketing in college.
Oh, you're majoring in marketing?
Right.
Do you really enjoy marketing?
Yes, I do, Miss Luper. Also, I like advertising, too. I might minor in advertising.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I know that your father must be extremely proud of you, along with your mother, that you are now the manager, and you freed him where he could go on to another job, and you are the manager.
Yeah.
Okay, now, let's go back. Now, you have some bargains there at the Soul Boutique.
Uh-huh.
And you are inviting the public to stop by, and what is that address?
1936 Northeast 23rd, right on the corner.
Right on the corner, Soul Boutique here in Oklahoma City. And this is Miss Lewis, the manager.
Yeah, we've been serving this community for almost 10 years.
Serving the community in that same spot for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is wonderful, and I'm sure that the people in this community, black and white, will be by to take care of business at the Soul Boutique.
Miss Luper, I might also add that we're getting ready to move to a new location.
Where will that location be?
23rd and Classen.
You're moving to 23rd and Classen?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're moving on up, right?
Yeah, we're proud of it, too.
Oh, 23rd and Classen. About when will you move?
Probably 1st of February.
Well, congratulations, and wherever you will be, remember, we will always be there shopping with you at the Soul Boutique, a name that's become nationally famous in the marketing business.
Thank you.
And thank you so very kindly.
Thank you, Miss Lupe.
Oh, don't you get a thrill out of seeing these young people? Now, just think about little Louis, who is now the manager of the Soul Boutique here in Oklahoma City. A business has been serving the community for about 10 years. And speaking of serving the community, this community deserves the best. And therefore, at this time,
We would like to say to you on behalf of Easton's Chaplain Station, 5101 Northeastern here in Oklahoma City, happy holiday season. And when you get ready to really go riding, be sure and remember Easton's. Now, it's no use of y'all being afraid this holiday season. Call the M&W Welding Company, 1314 North Oklahoma. The telephone number is 232-7760 or 670-1967. They will put steel doors and window guards around. You don't have to worry. Just call Mr. Charles E. Woods and Mr. Merlin McCary, and they will take care of a situation. You know, most people appear on the Clara Luper show than all of the other shows put together. And Clara Luper has guaranteed you that when you listen to this show, you will listen to the best. Now, we don't care anything about an age limit. They appear on this show all ages. And when I find something that's outstanding, I said, I've got to get it for my radio audience. And speaking of this, I have found one of the most talented young people in Oklahoma City. And I would like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Johnson. How are you, Lisa?
Fine.
Lisa, I'm so happy you are fine today. Now, how old are you?
8 years old.
You are 8 years old. When is your birthday?
April the 10th.
April the 10th, and you are 8 years old. Who are your parents?
Mrs. Carol and Barry Johnson.
Oh, Mrs. Carol and Barry Johnson. What does your mother do?
Well, sometimes she teaches at Oscar Rose Junior College, and she teaches at home most of the time, too.
Oh, really? What does she teach?
She teaches piano and voice.
Oh, really? Do you sing?
No.
Oh, no. Do you play the piano?
Yeah.
Okay, do you play any other instrument?
The violin.
You play the violin. How long have you been playing the violin?
Maybe 4.5 years.
4.5 years. And your mother teaches. Now, what does your father do?
He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer. Is he a good lawyer?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. So if you don't know whether he's a good lawyer, then who should I ask?
My mother.
Oh, I would ask your mother. I'm sure that your mother would say yes. Your mother was one of my students and a very brilliant young lady. Her voice has made so many people happy. Now, I invited you here today not because you wanted to tell me about your mother and your father, but I saw you doing something that really excited me. You were reading. I was just surprised. Now, let's go back to your age. You're how old now?
8.
You're 8 years old, and you're in what grade?
The 3rd.
You're in the 3rd grade now. You're 8 years old, you're in the 3rd grade, and do you know how to read?
Yeah.
You know how to read. You really know how to read. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I have so many people out in radio land who tell me, Mrs. Luper, I cannot read. And I said, well, give me a newspaper. Let me see if you can read. Now, Jesse Jackson said that if black folks can, on a insufficient diet, can become champions in baseball, football, track, they can do it in reading. Now, I have with me a young lady who's in the 3rd grade. And I'm going to just point out some things in the paper, and I'm going to see if she can read them. I have in my hand a newspaper, the morning's paper, and I would like for you to read the headlines here for me.
Eagle shut out the begs for title.
Okay, now what grade are you in?
The 3rd.
You're in the 3rd grade, and I've given you a towel there, and you've read it. Now, I'm going to find something that's really difficult. Now, you must remember that I have a very distinguished young lady here, Lisa, and I have a story here that's kind of sad, but I'm going to have to read it because I don't want to fall out with those Grant's generals out there. Would you read this for me?
John Marshall Bears, number 1 in Class 4A, blew out a 9-point lead with 3:30 left to play and fell in U.S. Grant, 73-69. Friday night in overtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have here a young lady from the 3rd grade, and I'm just picking up something for her to read, and she's reading. Now, I'm going into this second because we have some words. This is a 3rd grader now. Continue to read.
Class 4A this year completed the dominant play until the final few minutes where their offense was suddenly shut down by the Generals. Almost 1,000 fans, including Oklahoma Sooner coach Dave Bliss, crowded into every possible corner of the tiny Southeast High School gym, site of the Southeast Invitational Basketball Tournament. The crowd was standing throughout the final 2 conning minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you won't believe it, but I'm going to tell you something out there, because so many of you are sitting up there writing letters to Santa Claus and can't even read the letters after Santa Claus answers them. And I have with me today a third grader who is reading the newspaper for me, who cares nothing about the words, and we read about number 1, Marcia Falls to Grant. I'm going to find something else that's more difficult. I have here an ad here, and I would like for you to read this headline here for me.
Look, Total Electric Homes in Mustang, featuring this week 920S Highland.
Ladies and gentlemen, now, I know you're talking about what black people can't do and black people got problems. Sure have a problem. The big problem we aren't reading, but I have a third grader out here, and I would challenge any senior to come out here and tackle this third grader. Come on out, seniors and out readers, and let's see where we are going. Here's another newspaper. Would you read the headlines for me?
The Oklahoma County News.
Okay, and your name again?
Lisa Johnson.
Lisa, I want to invite you to come back and be on my show, because I want you to read a special Christmas story for me on Wednesday night. Would you do that?
Yeah.
And I would like to invite some of the seniors to come out here, and let's have a reading contest between Lisa Johnson, a third grader, and some of the seniors. It doesn't make any difference where you come from. You can come from Douglas, Grant, Marshall, Star Spencer. We'll see. Thank you so very kindly.
Thank
okay?
you.
Oh, everybody out here is all smiles, and who wouldn't smile? I have some news for you today that you cannot miss, but in the meantime, here's the president of NACP, and I know she's going to tell you to come on up to Freedom Center.
Yes, Ms. Luper, the Youth Council of NAACP are still in the midst of their paper drive, and we're asking everyone in our listening range to bring their old newspapers by Freedom Center, 2609 Northeastern. Help your community. Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder head the list of stars named to receive Teen Inspiration Awards on December 15th at Hollywood's Disco 9000. Proceeds from the party will benefit a new teenage disco in Pasadena, California called Funker City. According to spokesman Roberta Woods, the awards are based on accomplishments in the fields of entertainment that would inspire young teenagers to strive and achieve for their best. Thank you. This is Jennifer Allen in Teen Talk.
Shannon's Old Timer Club is located at 203 Northeast 36th Street here in Oklahoma City. Tonight is a big night there, and Shannon invites you to come to the Shannon's Old Timer Club. Remember, Wednesday nights are still ladies' nights. They give free champagne and free admission. That's at the Shannon's Old Timer Club here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Do you really want some good meat? Well, I have a recommendation, but you can't get any pork here. Your Family Store, located at 1235 North Kellum Avenue here in Oklahoma City, has the kind of meat that will make you eat. You may call 427-9243, or better still, go by 1235 North Kellum Avenue. Harry and Espanola Stewart are there. They give courteous service, low prices, and they specialize in beef products. They are open every day from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now that you know exactly where you can get some good meat, I would like to remind you that you are visiting with Clara Luper, and when you visit with Clara Luper, you're always where the news really happens. And speaking of news, we have some news that are happening here in Oklahoma City, and we want you to be informed. Congratulations to the officers, the pastor, and the members of the New Zion Baptist Church, and good luck to you tomorrow as you go and dedicate your new church to the God of the universe. Seal Smoke-A-Rama Barbecue is located at 1305 West Britton Road here in Oklahoma City. That address again is Seal Smoke-A-Rama, 1305 West Britton Road. This is a black-owned business right in Britton, Oklahoma. You can get the kind of barbecue that you've been dreaming of. You can always get grand opening prices, and family nights are still Thursday nights. That's the Smoke-A-Rama here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Speaking of holiday greetings, we have a holiday greetings from Reverend L.B. Quinn, the pastor of the Allen Chapel here, AME Church here in Oklahoma City. Reverend Quinn extends to his members, his officers, his trustees, and all a happy holiday season. Happy holiday season greetings from Reverend J. Bradford, the pastor of the 5th Street Baptist Church here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Reverend Bradford say thank you, and may this holiday season be yours. Lovin's Beauty College is located at 1920 Northeast 23rd Street. It is a national accredited cosmetology school. If you are looking for a long and lasting career, then enroll at Lovin's Beauty College here in Oklahoma City. They have advanced instructors and review courses. Graduating students are placed on jobs of their choice. Lovin's offers all phases of beauty services: individual eyelashes, liquid nails, facials, manicuring, pedicuring, lash and brow tints, and the latest in hairstyles and hair colorings, hair shapings, and permanents. You may also get your favorite arches. The Lovin Beauty College is approved for VA, rehabilitation, community action, and basic opportunity grants. They are open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, if you would like to have your hair longer and thicker, why don't you try the hair weave? It is the latest in hair culture. It will enhance your beauty for all occasions. Just call Lovin's Beauty College 424-1766 for your analysis today. The Ghana Village Nursing Home, located at 3000 Northeast 17th Street, has intermediate care facilities, a RN consultant, registered dietitian, physical therapist, a house doctor on call. The patients are permitted to select their own doctors and nurses. They have a home-like atmosphere, and the patients are very, very, very clean. Oh, I have some news that I hate to report to you today. Those of you that's planning on going to see Little Joe Blue tonight, his dance has been canceled according to Mr. Aaron Sims and will not be held tonight. So you just stay tuned and remember one thing, that if it happens, Clara Luper will tell you about it, and if it's not going to happen, I will also tell you about it. I have something that's out of sight to talk about now, and it's time for me to talk about Buicks. If you are interested in a Buick, and who is it that's not interested in a Buick? I want you to go to the Gandery Buick Company. And they say Gandery Buick and Opel, where else? Located at 6220 North May Street here in Oklahoma City. Now, you can get any kind of Buick that you want, and you will have salespeople out there that are interested in serving you. They want you to have the best, and in order to have the best, they will acquaint you with all of the parts, with all of the operations. That telephone number is 848-4461. Now, I know you love a Buick. Some of you love the Park Avenue, some the Century, but I love the Regal. The Regal Buick. I looked up the word Regal, and Regal means fit for a king. And if it's fit for a king, I enjoy riding in a Regal. Now, 6220 North May, you can afford a Buick. You say, well, I really would like to drive a Buick. But just remember, you can afford a Buick. All you will have to do is to go to the Gandery Buick Company here in Oklahoma City, 6220 North May. Now, see, Gandery Buick wants your business. That's why they advertise on the Clara Luper Show. There are a lot of companies in Oklahoma City that do not advertise with black businesses. But Gandery Buick says, I want your business. I don't care what color you are, I want your business. And Big Bert and George Thomas will take care of business. So when you go to Gandery Buick, say a special hello to George Thomas and Big Bird, and be sure and tell them that you heard about it on the Clara Luper Show. The holiday season is approaching. Miss Ellen Spivey invites each one of you from Hoffman or Grayson, Oklahoma, to be present tonight at 1111 Northeast to 43rd Street for the annual Christmas party. And speaking of something that's wonderful, Grace Cleaners, located at 529 West Main Street, say bring your clothes on down to Grace's and they will take care of them. They will clean them for you in 3 hours if you want them clean, or 4 hours, and they never close. That's the Grace's Cleaners, 529 West Main Street, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Let's get those lights out for the holiday season. Riley Electric Company will put up your lights. And if you're having light trouble, why don't you go to 5725 Northeastern or call the Riley Electric Company here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. and they will take care of business just for you. The holiday season is coming, and what is a better place to do the holiday shopping than at the Campbell's grocery store on 50th and Eastern? You cannot miss the big signs. This is a place where you can buy chitlins for the lowest price in Oklahoma City. Go to Campbell's grocery store and compare the price of chitlins, pig feet, yes, hog ears, bacon, anything that you want. You can get it at the Campbell's grocery store, 5029 Northeastern Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Holiday greetings from the McKay Davis Funeral Home located here in Oklahoma City. During the past year, the McKay Davis Funeral Home has tried to serve you by having you better informed. They've had seminars, and now they say to each one of you, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Speaking of Campbell's, I want you to go by there and buy some sugar. You can get 5 pounds C&H granulated sugar at 99 cents, and then you can say you are as sweet as sugar. 7 Farm corn cream, 5 for 99 cents, and you can get Dr. Pepper at the best bargain in Oklahoma City. Don't forget neck bones, pig feet, pig ears. Don't forget it. And pork chops, $1.69 a pound at the Campbell's grocery store here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Holiday greetings is extended to you from a young man who's extremely interested in energy, Mr. Hefner. Mr. Hefner says to each one of you, wherever you are, and this is Mr. Hefner III, says, Happy holiday season to you wherever you are. Jennifer, I know you want to come back and remind everybody that they got to take those papers, and they have the 6 o'clock to take the papers to Freedom Center, 2609 Northeastern. Let's talk about it.
That's right. We need you to bring all your old newspapers, magazines, telephone books by Freedom Center and put them in the big blue bin, and this will help Freedom Center, Youth Council of Freedom Center, in their membership drive. And we also collecting old beer cans, aluminum cans, and we need you to bring those by Freedom Center, too, and help your youth in this community.
Now, that big blue bin is up there, and get rid of those immediately. Let's get up there, and Joe, I know you want to tell them about it. I know you want to tell everybody about what you want them to do at Freedom Center.
That's right. We got one half of the bin filled up, and we need the other half. And let's get all the clean box papers up there and telephone books, and like Jennifer mentioned, beer cans. And this is a way for everybody to help, because if you haven't given a donation, this is where you can give a donation, by just bringing your old newspapers out there to the Freedom Center, because they're just hanging around the house. They're fire hazards. Let's get rid of them. Bring them to the Freedom Center. We need them.
Okay, speaking of we would like to congratulate the people at the Petite Beauty Salon here in Oklahoma City. This is a beauty salon located in the 1900 block on Northeast 24th Street, where you can get everything done. Why don't you go by the Petite Beauty Salon? They are open every day except Sundays and Mondays. That's the Petite Beauty Salon. A special holiday greetings to you from the Gates Barbershop, located right across from Freedom Center here in Oklahoma City. Mr. Gates says, for years that I have been serving you, and you have been my friends, and now I would like to say happy holiday season to you wherever you are. And that's to all of my friends. So many of you have written me concerning marriage. It's nothing in the world that's so honorable as marriage. Marriage has been ordained by the churches and by the great God of the past and of the present and of the future. And when people get married, they have a commitment to each other. And as your marriage consultant, I have tried to get your business through the years. I've tried to get you to stay married because you are supposed to be. You have committed yourself for life. And I've been really thrilled at many of you that have stayed married, and not for 5, 10, but for 50 and 54 years. But I've also tried to encourage those of you that aren't married to get married. It's no use of you living by yourself. Don't you feel that cold wind outside? You need someone. You need someone to love you, to take care of you. Maybe just to hand you a glass of water. You need to be married. Marriage is honorable. Family life is what is needed in this city. And when you get ready to get married, you've got to realize what a friend told me and what I always remind myself of. You aren't perfect, so don't start out looking for a perfect person to marry. Look in the mirror and realize that you too have mistakes. You make mistakes. Just get married. All you have to do, it's very simple. I've been trying to get Terry Mack and Michael Fulton, a group of them. Marriage is wonderful. But I have some news to tell you today about a wedding that's coming up where you aren't invited. In fact, the only way you can get in this wedding, you've got to be a member of a certain family. And I want everyone to know that I have tried to advise those of you out in Radio Land. I've tried to tell you some of you have courted for years. I know people have been courting for 15 years and haven't gotten married yet. Now, you know that's not right. You need to just get married, because 2 of you buying Wonder Bread is much better than 1 of you buying Wonder Bread. Now, some of you don't want to take on any responsibilities. Well, marriage is a responsibility, and I think that it's only fair that you would take on responsibility. And I have talked to some of the people that were on my bachelor's list who are now married, and they are so happy. Some of my bachelorettes are happy. But I want you to consider getting married. I told you I have some secrets to tell you, and it's really not a secret. Johann Kimbrough is going to get married, and that's going to be something. Johann's sister is also going to get married. Sean is going to get married on the same day and the same hour that her mother got married. But let me tell you the big one. The big story for 1976 is the big wedding that's coming up where you are not invited. In fact, someone actually told me not to tell this story. But let me tell you something. You cannot control the press. The press must be free to report the news. And once you take away the freedom of the press, you have taken away everything. Now hold your hats. Here it is, a big one. Earl Temple is going to get married. Earl Temple, a well-known businessman, is going to get married. Now, let me tell you what Earl Temple did. A few years ago, Earl came out here and told you all to vote for Governor David Boren. And then a tragedy happened. David Boren and his wife separated, and David Boren was a governor. And it was quite embarrassing, because as you travel through the country, people ask you, how about your first lady? We didn't have a first lady. Well, Governor David Boren went and got married, and one of his campaign managers, Earl Temple, followed him. Now, Earl Temple is going to be married, and he has a beautiful queen. In fact, her name is Queen Esther Bedford. Earl Temple and Queen Esther Bedford will be married in a private ceremony with only the family members present. Congratulations, Mr. Earl Temple, and may you be happy. And may you, yes, Earl Temple, may you be happy wherever you are. And speaking of getting married, I'm going to announce the Bachelor of the Year. Now, some of you out in Radio Land, you were bachelors this year and last year this time you were bachelors, and you're still bachelors. I want you to write me at Post Office Box 11106 and give me your nominee for the Bachelor of the Year and the Bachelorette of the Year. And let me tell you something else. The second secret today. An outstanding usher of the St. John's Baptist Church is going to be married. Perry Scott, the usher at St. John's Baptist Church, is going to get married. He's marrying a beautiful young lady by the name of Catherine Davis. Good luck to you, Perry Scott, and may the years be yours. Now, it's going to be a big wedding in Seattle, Washington. Joanne Penny, formerly of Oklahoma City, is going to marry, and she's marrying a well-to-do retired man in Seattle, Washington, and she's a sister of Dorothy Stewart. Well, it might mean that this is Dorothy Stewart's year, but it is time to talk about the Petite Beauty Salon, 1917 Northeast 24th Street, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Those of you who want to get on that Clara Luper Bachelor of the Year, be sure and write me, Post Office Box 11106. Don't forget that big party tonight, the Grey Hoff Party. Those of you from Grayson and Hoffman are invited. That's at 8 o'clock at 1111 Northeast 43rd Street, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I would like for Mr. Earl Temple and Mr. Scott, wherever you are, remember, Clara Luper is a marriage consultant, and if you happen to have any problems, for you two business, for an usher, I will give you a special price, $150 for my consultant services. But Temple, my consultant service is $200, and you can afford it. Well, today's program has been an outstanding program because you have been with me throughout this. Don't forget the ABC Upholstering Company here in Oklahoma City. ABC Upholstering, that's located in the Northeast Shopping Center. And this is Clara Luper saying, wherever you are, don't miss my show. I'll be on Wednesday night at 9 and Thursday night tonight at 9. Don't miss it. And remember, darling, I do love you.
Soul 98.